Hello everyone, and welcome to our Cradle approach to learning computer programming. This is a C# beginner series, and today we are going to talk about the tools we'll need and the beginning primers to start building C# applications. Now, first of all, we have to ask ourselves, what is Microsoft Visual Studio? Well, Visual Studio is actually a .NET framework-based solution that integrates building applications basically for the Windows platform. That is what Visual Studio is. And usually you hear of C Sharp, C++, there's the Visual C++, Visual C Sharp, Visual F Sharp, and Visual Basic. Now, what the Microsoft Visual Studio does is it integrates whichever language you use. So you can be using Visual C++, you can be using Visual C Sharp. At the end of the day, when you run and you compile your program, it builds it up into one package and can be deployed across platforms. Now, what is an IDE? Well, it's an integrated development environment. Basically, it just helps make your life easier when you're writing computer programs and code instead of using Notepad or WordPad. At least Notepad++ is much more better and it's intelligent. The IDE provides code hinting, spell checks, and helps you check for errors when you're writing your code. You can also change the color of your font, have paragraphing, and edit your text immediately within the IDE. And the good thing is you don't have to download external IDE sources. For preferences, you might want to. Might want to get Notepad++, but if it's built into Microsoft Visual Studio, then there's necessarily no need for you. So the IDE is just basically a place where you can write your code much more comfortably without having to break your leg while you're doing it. Now, the .NET framework is actually a programming platform and is used to build Windows and web-based software. Basically, that's what the .NET framework is. So you can use it to build calculator apps. You can use it to build games. Like the most of the interface you see on Windows operating systems have something to do with the .NET framework. So it also provides you with the user interface, so you don't really have to program for user interfaces. It uses XAML, but we might get into that later on. You can also have web-based applications like for your browsers, your calendar apps, and even you can use the .NET framework to build a fully functional web observation and web experience when you have that.
So now that we've seen the tools we need to build C# applications, let's go ahead and download Microsoft Visual Studio. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up the browser, and I'm going to go to msdn.com. Just type msdn and press enter. Now I'm going to go to the downloads page. Downloads right here. It's just the second one after technologies, that's downloads. We'll click on downloads and click on Visual Studio. Now when the page opens up, we'll see Visual Studio Community, Enterprise. Let's just click on Download Community, free software. Everybody likes free software. So let's click on Community Free. And then an executable installer is going to pop up. It says open in VS Community, enu_enu.exe. Well, you have to just save the file. When you save the file, you can click on it and run that. It's going to ask me, open security file warning, do you want to? Yes. If I click run, I already have installed Visual Studio, so I'm going to cancel this, and then I'm going to open up Visual Studio so we can have I can show you what it's going to look like when you run the application. Now it's also important that you have a Microsoft account so that you do register that you're a user of Visual Studio. That's the only thing you need. You have to have internet connectivity, and then you have to register your account. I have my account registered right here. So if you just register once, you can be offline and still use the application just in case. So when you install Visual Studio and successfully register, it's very short to register. You can just create an account and register in less than a minute. You will be presented with this startup screen or splash screen. So basically that's it. Now we've installed Microsoft Visual Studio Community Edition. You can use this to build the .NET Framework applications you need. So in the next video, we'll be looking at the Microsoft Visual Studio interface. I'll be telling you about how to customize files, how to create files, save folders, how to change the interface so that you can have a seamless and intuitive workflow. See you guys in the next video. Thanks.